All right, everybody, welcome back to the arena. We have a returning guest here today. His name is Hector Regalado. He is a certified personal trainer, mobility specialist, known for training a fair amount of celebrities, if you will, as well, including kind of my idol, Derrick Rose, which is pretty cool.
Mm.
He's also a real estate investor, a man of faith, online coach, just a true entrepreneur is kind of how I would sum up Heck. So Hector, obviously, first of all, thank you so much for coming back on for a second time and gifting us your time. Why do all roads lead back to Heck?
Well, first and foremost, I want to appreciate y'all and thank y'all for having me on for the second time. This is always a great conversation, so I'm very happy to be here. To answer your first question, why do all roads lead back to heck? It's because I've done enough work over the last 10 years that you're going to have to see me from some type of skill set or value that you want and that I have, right? For training purposes, I tell people all the time, if you're going to try to build the best physique possible, especially as a man, 9 times out of 10, because I've done all the bodybuilding stuff, you're going to come see me, at least in Chicago, right? So it's like, oh, cool. He does this. He coaches this person. They're going to come see me. When it comes to mobility, most people that are hurt don't really want to go to physical therapy. So what do? They either come hit me up and they'll come see me, or I'll send them to one of my homies who help me with the mobility stuff. That boxing, I actually just put a recent video about, right, of the boxing over the last 10 years of everything that I've done. And that's why people got to come see me if they want to do boxing. And then, so it's just basically then obviously transformation wise, I have some of the, obviously, as you know, some of the top athletes and influencers in the city. So if you want to get right, people just gonna have to come see me. And all roads lead back to heck also is because everybody has to take this part of their life serious. They have no choice. It's like finance. Everybody wants money, so you're going to have to do something. Everybody needs to be healthy, so they're gonna have to come see me. Now, if I say it's not now, it's a couple months from now. Even if it's a couple from years from now, you're gonna have to come see me. So that's the reason why I always say like all roads lead back to heck. And then I got, because of my network in my community that I built, I always have a connection. Like I keep everybody in house. Like it's crazy. I always talk about it. Over the last year, one of my clients, she lost 15 pounds over the year, which is fine, which is cool, but she should be a lot further. But I helped her get back in church. I helped her daughter get in therapy. I gave her proof enough of me getting a house for her to buy a house, right? So it was just things of like, it's not just fitness, it's just life in general that I'm going to basically help people because I have so many connections. And if I know somebody, I'm going to put you in the room if I feel like you're ready to be there. So yeah, but
So
again, it's all work.
why do you think? I mean, there's a lot of trainers in Chicago. So why do you think a lot of the influencers, celebrities, people like athletes at the top performance like Derrick Rose and things of that nature,
Mhm.
like why are they coming to you?
Okay, so first, well, Derek finally came to me because he's finally back in Chicago, right? But this is like 10 years worth of work where I train his wife. So because his wife knows everybody that I work with, whether they're influencers or friends or somebody in Chicago, most of the people around here be like, "Oh, you got to go see Heck when she comes." And I tell people like, it's again, God is always going to orchestrate everything. They came back to Chicago. Their office is not too far from Mode. So they come see me, where his son goes to school is right around the corner. So it's just like right place, right time. Right. And so because of her, he comes. Right. And so because he comes, he wants to do mobility, whether work out. But again, it's all on Derek's time on whenever he wants to come in. Right. Just because like he's not an athlete anymore. He retired. So it's figuring out what does he like to do. And whether if it's working on his knee, his ankle, his shoulder, I can do that. Whether if it's he wants to box with him and his son, I can do that. And then also if he just wants to simply just get in the gym, work out and feel good, I can do that. But it's just because of all the people that have come to me. Um, which gives me again online is this authority like, oh, he works with all these people. But again, I had made a video. I actually made all these recap videos of how I even got my celebrities in the first place. The ones that came from out of town, I paid them. It was real simple. I gave people the game basically for free. And then people in the city is just, I got blessed to meet people at the right time and then just be great at my job to get them results. And since me having more influence as I get results, it only just is a whole loop. It's just, okay, cool. He helps you. You got results. Good. Refer. Boom, boom, boom. Refer. And it was just like that.
Heck, the all roads lead to heck thing. I'm glad we started there because it I think it implies that people know who you are and you have this very specific footing in the world, if you will. I'm curious how you sit with that identity yourself. Like, you build a brand, you show who you are, but I feel like there might be even more to you as a person who about your identity in this world. Like, who are you exactly?
And so it's funny, somebody just asked me that the other day. And the crazy thing is all of us only have one identity, which I think always sticks, and that's like God's child, right? Because the crazy thing is, I've learned this, life is, from Myron Goldman, is life is be, do, have, right? So determining on who you are determines on what you do, and that will determine on what you have. So I basically like honed in on that right there. But at the same time, again, with my other mentor, Jamal King, he was like, it's not about the vehicle that gets you to the destination. So I tell people all the time, it's like I've just done so much character development and just self-development. Like that's only reason why I'm here. Where a lot of trainers just don't work on that part of their life because it might not necessarily make them money right now. Like I understand the systems and the businesses on how to make more money, how to market, how to run ads, how to do everything. That's just getting money, but that's just one part of your life. But how do you stay here? Because I work with people, I have to understand people. But my identity is I don't care what they call me. Like I promise you, like they can put whatever name on it. That's why I say like when be like, whoa, what do you do? Heck, I'm like, I'm just a trainer. Like, and I say just a trainer because yes, there is a lot more to me, but if that's what they know me for, I'm fine because I truly know I'm just God's child and I'm blessed to be here where I am and be in this game this long because I know it's not me. Right. Like I've just, which I built a brand, right, which is control the work and let God take care of the rest. I've only just known to do the work. And then whatever happens from it happens from it. I just happened to do some of the right work and then read upon later, like, oh, what I was doing was actually right without even knowing what I was doing was actually right. And so obviously me going to therapy, me just being surrounded by older people, getting wisdom from them is just like that's kind of how I built myself. But I don't stand on this throne like, oh, I will never call myself a celebrity trainer. I will never call myself a master trainer because those things don't, again, like you said, that's not, yes, it's what I do, but I won't sit there unless it helps me get into a certain room. Like, yeah, I'll use those things. But other than that, like, I'll never sit here and be like, I'm the best of the best and da da da. Like, I let people speak for me or I let my work speak for me. But like an identity, it's like the crazy thing is, I don't even consider myself a Virgo anymore, right? Like, yes, my birthday is and I'm a Virgo, but it's like I literally just call myself God's child because that's how I don't lose this drive or this sense of self. Because again, I know any day this profession can go. And if it does, okay, cool. What do I transition into? I can't be like, oh my God, my life is over. I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm blessed to be able to have this purpose again with a passion, with a paycheck and everything aligns. I'm just blessed to have this that I see as I navigate the world. A lot of people don't get that. I don't know why, right? I can't put a finger on it, but it's just it is what it is. So it's like I very humbly understand like this can go at any time. So I never attach myself to it. And I really don't attach myself to anything in general because I know at any point I can lose it.
And so, like, on that, because I think with where you're at in your career, a lot of decisions you make on a day-to-day life could be very revenue oriented. And a lot of people, I
Hmm.
think, will make those decisions on, like, will this make me money? Will this advance my career? I'm curious because you talk about like this could all fall apart, be stripped away at any moment, right?
Hmm.
So what is your North Star? Like, if you were dropped in the middle of somewhere and you needed to decide your direction, like, how do you define your North Star for just making decisions in life? What exactly is that for you?
It's to serve people. And that's because I understand the more you serve, the more money you make, right? The bigger problems you solve, the more money you make. So it's not even people like, oh, I need to make a lot of money. And I'm saying like, no, you need to serve more people. You have to actually have to have more value. So it's figuring out how do I stay valuable to anybody? Like I said, I've had a client who only lost 15 pounds over the year. That's literally 1 pound a month, right? But at the same time, I was able to be valuable enough to help her get into real estate, to help her. Even right now, she has a lead issue. One of the other dudes in the gym that wants to talk to me about real estate because he likes my content has 250 properties. I was like, oh, cool. Hey, she has this lead problem. Can you talk to her about it? Boom, connect there. She gets help. So it's like me just trying to stay as valuable as I can. And just by being a good person and just understanding the more people I help and the more people I connect, I stay valuable. So that's the thing where it's like if I have to start over, I have to figure out even if I work for y'all, what can I do to help? Like that's the first thing. So that's the thing because people just want to be like, I want to get a lot of money. But yes, how do you get a lot of money? Especially being in this service industry where it's like, yes, people can make a lot of money with Bitcoin and investments and things like that. But me just knowing more of the service industry and having to help people, it's like, what do you need help with? How can I fill a gap? And that's why people ask, like, well, how did you get next to Jamal, with the S2S podcast and all them and CJ and Eric Thomas and just be close enough to that group? It was like, I have to fill a gap. Like I literally seen Jamal's life and he talks about his pillar with his faith, finance, freedom, fitness, and finance. Yeah, finance, freedom, fitness, family, and faith. So he has 5 pillars. I can't help him in faith. He's been in church a lot longer than me. Finance, he has a lot more money than me. Family, he has a family that and I don't. What else? Family. And then fitness is the only thing I can help him with. So it's like, great. I know he had mobility issues. I know he likes to work out. That's the only place I can fill the gap because like, everything else, like I never really partner with a lot of trainers because we're not really valuable to each other. So I literally figure out, unless I'm helping them make more money or help them get more clients and make more content, we're not valuable to each other. So it's like really figuring out how can I be valued to the person that I'm in front of. Again, if I had to start over, it's like, okay, what do you need? What can I do? It doesn't matter if I need to go run errands, do groceries, clean your house. Like I just have to figure out what value do I have that I can help you with.
It's interesting because going back to MD asked me before you were on the call, before we started this podcast, he said, I've been really interested in identity lately. Like, how would you describe yourself if you couldn't just say your name, if you couldn't say, what you did? And, I said, I'm a child of God, which
Hmm.
is, I'm like, you know what? I think Heck might have a similar answer. So when you said that, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's spot on. How do you balance, you mentioned you are, you've trained celebrities, you've got a lot of social proof. How do you balance, but you also mentioned you don't want to, you don't define yourself like that. Like I'm just a trainer. How
Hmm.
do you balance the marketing side of those two things? Meaning using the fact that you've trained Derek Rose, that you've trained these celebrities, influencers,
Hmm.
people with millions of followers and a big presence, with also the idea that you are quote unquote just a trainer, like and maybe like the humility associated with that. Like, how do you kind of balance those two things?
Well, because I know how to play the game without getting lost in it. Like I understand like how to run the ads. I know to understand what photo covers I need to pick. Like even when I talked about boxing, I'm gonna put a picture with me and Floyd. Even if we're the best celebrities in Chicago, I know who to choose because again, it's just me learning about marketing. So it's just playing. You have to play the game. Like a lot of people, they're like, "Oh, I hate social media." I said it's because of how you look at it. Like, look, I know the end game and the end result. And the crazy thing is, people that train with me sometimes don't even see my Instagram. I don't even know how they follow me. They might be referred to somebody, but then when somebody tells them like, "Oh, you working with that celebrity trainer?" They're like, "Celebrity trainer? That's just heck." Because my clients don't care either. Like I'm just a regular person, and I don't come off like snooty and snotty when they come in. I'm really figuring out, okay, cool. How do I get you to A to B? What things mentally do I get to get? Do I have to get to change? I tell you, like I tell my clients all the time, one person cries a week, whether if it's because of emotional things with food, whether it's because of what's going on in their life or just some type of struggle or frustration. Like I have to handle that. And the humility of like, I deal with real people. I'm still in a real service industry where it's like, it's not just over the phone or just on Zoom where it's like I only talk to these people maybe once a week just for like 10 minutes. Like, no, I spend hours and hours with people every day. And they don't care. Like, again, can I help them? That's all they care about. Can I serve them? And since I want to, it always works. But again, I can't never get lost in the game. That's why I had to spend what I've spent over the last year or so. When do we have our conversation? How many was it last year?
2 years, probably.
2 years, right. So I've spent over around like $10,000 on camera equipment, whether it was lenses, just base models, mics, things like that, SD cards. But again, like I understand I have to play the game to stay relevant, and I know I have to put certain storylines together, and I project certain people. But I understand the end result. But it doesn't mean that like, oh, I'm great. It just no, it means I understand the system of how to make money and how to market because I've learned how to do it. So it doesn't like I think anything that I can learn, somebody else can learn. So it's nothing that's like, oh my God, I'm so great. I'm like, no, here's the blueprint. Just follow it. And now if it doesn't hit here, it's going to hit. Just keep being consistent. Like I got 1,700 posts, I think, right now, and somebody else has like 25. I'm like, why would you even just keep posting something? I tell people like something is going to hit. Like even if you post 2 times a day for the whole year, if you're consistent in it, it's gonna post. But then me just keep learning and be like, okay, cool. Well, what does the hook need to be? I got to spend money on just finding out all the. I think I bought this program called One Peak. Just even figuring out like how about hooks, things I need to talk about, how to find people's pain points. It was just like I had to learn this. So it's just I don't think it's special to learn anything. Like it's just like okay, cool. The information is there. Pay for it. Go through the course. Learn. Apply. Again, to me, life is not that hard. It's just people just don't want the patience and they don't want the consistency that comes with it because the information is all there. It's just you just have to do it and they just want it now. I think that's just the issue.
I mean,
So
the more I sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna say, the more I go through life, I realize like this how simple life is. Easy, no, but it's simple. Like, does this align with what are my values? Does this align with my values? Yes. All right, I'm going that way. Does this align with love and truth? Yes, I'm going that way. No, no, thank you. Like, when you live an honest, truthful life, is
Hmm.
that easy? Absolutely not, because that requires, going a lot of uncertainty, having faith. Um, but it's simple, and I feel like a lot of us, even especially in the gym, just overcomplicate things when in reality, if you are consistent with, I'm speaking to a trainer, but if you're consistent with what you eat and you're consistent with how often you're in the gym and the intensity at which you work, like, you will get results. And I feel
Hmm.
like that can also be applied to life. MD, go ahead. I'll let you go.
yeah, I I work in a space of a lot of early 20-year-olds in the corporate realm, and a lot of
Hmm.
them are very anxious about the idea of growing, and they feel, and I say feel because it's subjective. They feel stuck. They feel like they're not growing fast enough. They feel a lot of pressure. Just like you said in social media, depends how you look at it. For a lot of people, I think they receive it with more of like a toxic outlook on people that they're comparing themselves to, thief of joy, the whole thing. And when I look at you, what you've been doing over the last few years since we've met each other hasn't really changed in terms of what you do day to day and how you help people specifically in your career. And yet I wouldn't assume that you haven't grown, right? And so like
Yeah.
curious what you would tell that early 20-year-old and like what your outlook is on just how have you grown over the last couple years, and how do you just think about growth in general without having to attach it to like elevating or doing anything different than what you have been doing?
So I think it's easier to get to the top than it is to stay at the top, right? Like how many people have we seen on social media that has this big money, that has this big following, and then just crash? Whether if it's even athletes, whether we're talking rap artists, music artists, like they all come down. So it's like I'm never willing to sell my soul. That's why my path takes longer, right? And because life is again, as I say, be do have. Where it's like somebody asked me was like I never want to be Ashton Hall because I just don't want to make those type of videos. Even though my goal is like, hey, I want to make $100,000 a month and I need those type of views. But I have to be honest with myself the same way I have to be honest with my clients. Like, hey, if you want to have one cheat meal a week, great. Your ceiling goes from here to here. So if I understand if I don't post content like that, it won't take my views from here to here. I just have to accept that and be okay with it. And that's my new goal is just right here because I just don't want to do the stuff. Like it's life is easy and it's simple and it's easy to get content when it's just who you are. A lot of 20-year-olds are trying to portray like they've been somewhere and they've done something. And I'm like, you ain't really lived life. You haven't gone through stuff. You still just, you're all they're trying to do is just make money. Like it's not about, they're not really putting time and effort into understanding of who they are and like what their habits are and like who they hang out with and just character development in general because they haven't had enough relationships because the 20-year-olds are all on Zoom or all on TikTok or on Instagram. Like they've never been in a realm to be around people to handle real conflict, just around when we have to go to school and we have to deal with college. And it was just like now they mostly didn't have to experience that. And so it's like they're not doing self development. They're just trying to figure out ways to make more money. And so if they're not getting that, they're not working on anything else. And to me, as I tell people, like I can't stand on my money. Like, yes, I can make a lot of money in this fitness, but it doesn't take away of like, or it doesn't let me stand on my a hill of like, okay, how I treat people. Like those are I have to stand on every hill the same. Whereas I can't just sit there and just be like, well, since I have millions of dollars, I can treat people like shit. I can not take care of my family. I can not do all this other stuff where it's like, I can't do that. I have to stand on every hill, but that's because of who I've been around, right? The people that I've seen who are even 40 or 50 is like, great. I gotten so far in life in such a shorter time because I hadn't make less mistakes because I actually listened to the people in front of me. So it's not like if you guys were 10 years older than me and I look at them like, and you're like, hey, don't do drugs, don't do this. And I'm sitting there like, man, y'all don't know nothing. Like, no, I'm listening, like, cool. If they said don't do it, I'm just not going to do it. And so, me making less mistakes has taken me a lot further along in life where a lot of people just get some success, make the mistakes, and have to start all over. And luckily, I just never really had to start all over.
Did you always have that clarity? Just curious, like if you started on maybe like the standing on the money, chasing something that maybe wasn't aligned to who you were, like what was the point in time where you gained that clarity of like of everything you just said, basically?
I mean, I think I've always been this person. I've always just been a worker. Well, even like I've always been a C student, but I had perfect attendance. From my mom made sure from the first day I started school in preschool to high school, the end of high school, I missed one day. And I was mad as hell because I was supposed to get like a whole award for like being there. But like I tell people, like I might not have the best work at that time, but I've always showed up. So that's the thing. Like my mom has instilled in me. Well, now she'll tell me like, "Oh, stay home." I'm like, no. All throughout grade school and kindergarten, you told me I got to make sure I go to school regardless of how I was feeling. And so me having that, I always show up. Like again, the only time I take off during the year is from Thanksgiving, which is Thursday, to that Sunday, and I take off New Year's Eve to the first Monday of the new year. Other than that, I don't take vacations. One, because I don't need to, but I've only been known to always show up. Like I'm always going to show up. Now, again, I don't know, me being a C student, even though I had all the books, I wasn't the best, but I am going to show up every time. And just beating people out that don't show up is the only thing I know how to do. But again, I know if I keep showing up and eventually if my intensity goes from a C and I start locking in more, it's going to go to a B and it's going to go to an A. But at least I still am showing up like every day. And so that's always been in me since a kid where it's like, I just don't know how not to show up.
What do you mean by not having to take vacations?
Like where did I go? I didn't go nowhere this year, I don't think, because it's like I've built a life where I don't need to take a vacation from. Like life is simple.
You
I
took the
do
words
not
out of my mouth, brother. I was thinking the
like
same
life
thing in my head.
is like life is simple because again I have a passion, a paycheck, and a purpose where I never a lot of people have a career and be like, man, I'm still not happy in life. The crazy thing is I listened to the S2S podcast and they talked about the difference between serenity and trying to find happiness. A lot of people are chasing this happiness when it's like when I guess when he talked about it, like when you have serenity you have peace at whatever happens. Like a good line in my life, like it is what it is. I have to deal with the consequences, whether if it's good or bad. It's just, hey, I don't have too many emotional attachments to it. Where like I'm not chasing happiness. Like nothing I gain more will bring me more happiness right now. It's just I understand the processes and I understand marketing and I understand business to go get more, but nothing will truly make me more happier or make me feel more at peace. Because once I already know how to go get it. So it's just about getting the time, putting the right product, putting the right system, having the right funnel, putting this, and I'm good. Like there's nothing that I'm chasing. I know I'm going to only gain more. Like you said, like it doesn't look like it, but great. I've gotten. Did I have my investment property last time?
No, I don't think so.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So it wasn't nothing that I'm doing differently. It was just okay, cool. Me saving, saving, saving. Good. Buy. Good. Rinse and repeat. Do it again. Buy. Do it again. So it's like it's very simple on what I'm doing, but again, it just takes consistency. And since I've only known how to be consistent, that's what ends up working and just making less mistakes with my money. So as long as I'm still saving, working, finding ways to make new money, finding ways to market to get to see more people to make money, and just still being who I am of these years of character development, not trying to um, mess up who I am in my regular life is just like because again, drugs, liquor have never been like any of my vices. So it was just like okay, cool. As long as I can kind of stay out of trouble and just keep working, like life is very simple.
It's interesting because, I think for most of my life and maybe a lot of the people you train that talk about just, booking the next vacation, the next trip. Like I remember I was basically just always trying to have something to look forward to escape the
Mhm,
life and my reality that I was living, where over the last 3.5 years, I've slowly been crafting a life that I don't need a vacation from. And I can confidently
mhm,
say that at this point, like I mean, a vacation here and there is nice, but I
Yeah,
love the life that I live every single day. Like, I don't need it, and so I think when you said that, it kinda took the words out of what I was thinking of here, 'cause, but I also know what it's like to live a reality that you just want to escape. Um,
yeah.
I guess what separates from your perspective, what separates, because you have a lot of people that come to you and work with you. What separates those that achieve their goals versus those that don't? Like, what traits, what qualities do they have? Like, what type of mindset do they have?
I think it's how they view people, where it's like you really just have to learn how to serve. A lot of people are just trying to serve themselves. And so it's like, oh, what do I need to get for me? It's like, no, what do you have to get for them? Because in return, and it might not happen right there, it will come back around to help you. And again, it's just how fast they want it, where it's like I'm willing to wait out however long it takes to get to where I want to be. But again, I just understand the processes of how to get there. Just keep showing up, just being good to people. Like there's people that came before us to show us how to be successful. Now it's to figuring out, do you want to do those same things or do you not? And do you want to sacrifice or not? And again, I tell people like I'm willing to risk it all just to get what I want, but not in a bad way. Like I'll risk it all as far as like my social life and doing things that are supposedly fun to society standards. Like I don't go out, I don't, kick it with my homies. Like I tell people, most of the people I hang out with are the people that pay me. Like I really don't hang out with my friends. My high school friends were in a group chat, but I literally see them maybe once or twice a year because I just don't make time for that. Because in my spare time, my free time, 9 times out of 10, I'm finding ways to market more. Because again, I doing everything myself is like, okay, I gotta edit the content. I gotta go film more content. Like I understand, like this train cannot stop moving. Obviously, I would like to be more efficient, but with me doing everything, it's like great, cool. I still have to stay ahead because again, listening to Jamal in their podcast, he was like, what's your room for error? All right. What's your margin of error? Because again, people play it too close to the line where it's like, no, I want to get ahead of it so much that even if I mess up a little bit, I'm still ahead of a lot of people. So a lot of people aren't like future and forward thinking. They're just thinking about like right now, right now, right now. And I'm sitting up there like I'm willing to risk the right now and all the fun that people are saying they're going to have. They're traveling. It's like I'm going to travel. It's just one, it's not on my higher priority list compared to me wanting to be around people, me wanting to build my nonprofit, me wanting to be around for other people. Because again, I just truly live a life of service and I serve all the people that come see me. So like if you build it, they will come. So it's like the gym is my church. Right. So it's the way I can help and pour into people and give them what they need. And again, I'll tell you, I've been blessed to come across some great young men that I've helped mentor to help push them on and just whoever just came to me. Like I'm blessed to have it where I tell people like, I don't know exactly what worked. I understand why some of the stuff works, but I can't tell you like half of it's favor, half of it's work. Like I just know I understand it's not all just 100% me.
Heck, I got a question for you then, because
Hmm.
I recently saw like somebody posted content. They're in like the health and wellness industry, and their whole gripe was that a lot of people want to pick their brain,
Hmm.
and they ultimately have to like spend their time. They also have to just share their wisdom and effectively provide a consulting service almost or a coaching service for free, or
Yeah.
it's implied that it's free because they're just picking your brain over a
Yeah.
coffee, let's say. And I want to understand from a child of God, right?
Hmm.
Because the Bible in no place does it say that your service should um be with the expectation of receiving commerce or money, right? And
Hmm.
so I'm curious how you reconcile or how you draw that boundary around, I'm going to be a serving child of God. That is my North Star. But I also understand my worth and I value my time. And, you know, time is money. My wisdom, my skill
Hmm.
set is worth money. How do you reconcile those two belief systems?
So I do it. I only help people who help themselves. Like 9 times, like I've had this happen maybe like 8 times this year, right? Where people want to come pick my brain. I have no problem. One, I'm not going outside the gym. You have to come meet me where I am. Have no problem. You're not, I mess with you once, but you're not allowed to reschedule. Like, because I'm still training clients at that time. Like, I can still train clients and talk to somebody in their ear. I have no problem with that. As long as they don't get in the way of what I'm doing in between sets, I'll talk to them, ask them, whatever. But if you miss it, I know it's not that important to you. If I see your stuff and you haven't started, I just say go get a certification first, because it doesn't matter the information I give them, it can't help them at that point in time. And third, I've had other people who've owned gyms that want to come talk to me, and I just talk to them about the marketing, but at least they've done stuff. So it's again, what I've learned from my mentors is like, you always want to, if somebody's stuck on the side of the road, you're more likely to help somebody pushing their own car rather than them just sticking their thumb out. So I don't mind helping people who are, um, helping themselves. Cause like, look, I can help you get over the edge because I'm getting there and I do it for free. Like I don't mind it. If I see you working, that makes me want to help you. It's different when people want to pick my brain and be like, hey, I got a couple of questions. I'm like, well, okay, what do you do currently? Well, I don't do this. Okay, cool. Well, hey, look, this is what you need to read or this is what you need to watch first, because it's not gonna make no sense because I'm so far ahead. The first thing I would tell you, just go get a certification. Because if you don't have that, why are we talking? Right? Because you don't have anything what I can tell you is not going to help you change your life right then and there. And so it's like, yeah, maybe my character development, but even if I tell them, how do you be a better personal trainer? Well, go to therapy. They don't want to hear that. All they want to hear is the marketing side of it is like, okay, what content do I have? Well, then I'm asking them, do you have no results? Cool. Well, no, you don't. Well, train people for free. Well, I don't want to. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can give you the simple things. It's like, okay, great. You don't look good enough. Get yourself a better transformation. Hey, until that ends, and I tell them, you got to tell your story of how you're in this and how you want to help people. Like the crazy thing is, my one of my pastors, his trainer, he does virtual, and he's somewhere out of state, and he had called me. He didn't know what I did or who I was, but my other pastor had put him in contact with me because he wanted to move to Chicago. He was like, well, how do I be successful, or how do I handle a big market? Well, I'm telling him, like, well, if I look at your page, it's all about you. All I see is you. I say I don't see no results. I don't see nobody else. It's all just you. Now, if you're a fitness influencer, that's fine. But because I don't see no proof of concept, or I don't see no social proof, how am I supposed to know that you can help me when all you're doing is just showing you? So that's the first thing I told him. The second thing I told him was like, the pastor that we have, you're just going to have to partner with him, and you're going to get everybody in the church. Like, it's really that simple. But like, coming to Chicago, and one, you're going to have to find your own gym unless you're going to contract out of somewhere else. Getting all the highest people, you're going to have to go up against me, but you don't know half the stuff I know. So I can only give you the information. I give all my mobility stuff, I give it away for free. I literally let people log into my stuff that I've paid over, there's 3 certifications. So I've paid over $3,600 for. I literally give them my login. I'm like, go watch it, because I know they're not going to do it. And so that's the reason why I'm never worried about like gatekeeping anything, because it takes so long to master the information. Where it's like, I can give you all of my resources. I just can't give you the consistency of me. And even then they won't come back for a while. But even if I tell them one thing, it might stick for them. Like, one of these other dudes just came back to me, and I tried to tell him like, damn, you just don't serve enough. And he kind of didn't understand what that meant. When I do this, and thing is, he's trying to do more mobility stuff. But I told him, I said, that's not the sexy thing. The only reason why people know I do mobility is because who I do mobility with, right? Like, mobility isn't sexy off a person who's random. But if I do it with Derek Rose, people are more keen to watch. So I'm like, these people trust me over transformation. But I know if they have issues, I have the knowledge and I have the skill set to add that to them. And that's what makes it um, sexy, or that's what makes people want to come in like, oh, he can probably help me. Cause I'm like, 9 times out of 10, they just don't care about random people unless I have like 200 results and just 200 testimonials. Like, man, my knee pain's gone, my ankle pain is gone, and things like that. So the good thing is I have a sense of both, where it's like, man, I've delayed Jamal's hip surgery by 2 years, and he finally went to go get both hips replaced, because Father Time is always going to win. And I just always caught him too late. If I had him 20, obviously 10, 15 years later, it'd be fine. But I didn't. So I did what I could at that time. So it's just like, they just have to understand, like, if you're going to be in this personal training space, you have to have multiple skills. Online, great. You have to just show transformations, because that's all people want. Like, can you get them to whatever they need to A to B? And I think the people that come ask me just haven't served anybody. So it's like, well, how do I get the first person? Find somebody close to you, train them for free, tell them, and see if, hey, can you get them to get this result? Because if not, people aren't just going to believe you. And if you don't look good enough, you can't even sell a low ticket plan where it's like, hey, I transform myself from here to here. For $47 a month, I can show you how to do it. Yes, but you have to have some type of transformation. You have to put some type of belief in people to get it. But the people that are coming to me asking these questions had not even asked these questions of themselves. It was like, they haven't gone on YouTube, go look up marketing schemes. They never looked up Alex Hormozy. They never looked up these things. So it's like, mostly I give them all the resources. Because I'm like, that's what I had to do. I literally had to go search and buy Alex Hormozy's book on business and understand, like, okay, cool. How do I talk? I have to go take all these sales courses. Like, okay, cool. How do I tell people? How do I switch the belief? Because I never know, nobody taught me that. Again, I literally had to go buy a course on learning how to learn. Like, I've invested so much into myself on just like, I am the best investment I've ever made on myself. And that all of the things that I've learned have only helped me and propelled me forward. But kids don't want to hear that. They was like, oh, like I also could tell you about marketing, but you don't have no results. So what are we truly marketing? So it's like there's always something, and I don't mind telling them. It's just like, hey, it just takes years. That's all I can say.
And so for the people that you train that get the results that they initially came to you for,
Hmm.
are there any people you find that are just never satisfied? Meaning, like, they get the body that they think they want, or they get the goals and results that they think they want, and then they get there and it was, well, I actually I need to lose more. Or meaning, like, I think about myself and, my prior, like, years ago, like, I was as lean as could be, and yet I was still
Hmm.
unhappy because it really
Yeah.
wasn't about the body. It was more about, like, the lack of self-worth that I had for myself. So I'm just
Hmm.
curious of do you ever see that in people you train that get results, but then maybe aren't not happy with you, but just, like, more broadly are like, "Oh, shit, like, that wasn't it. Like, that didn't fill the void that I thought it was gonna fill."
Yeah. And so I just tell them I told you so. Like I will always tell them like that's what's gonna happen. Like I tell them like, oh, I just want to get to like 160 or 170. I said, okay, cool. But like when you get there, you're not going to be. They're like, oh, yes, I am. Da da da. And then we get there, and it's just like I still want to do this, this, and this. I'm like, I told you. Like I've had clients that went regularly to work out, and now they want to get into bodybuilding. But because I have the knowledge on that, I'm like, okay, cool. Here's where you want to go if you want to do that. And it's just I tell people like, don't get lost in that. Like I've had one client who tried to do the bodybuilding. Her relationship with food wasn't good. And I'm like, look, I'm telling you what's going to happen. Like this is not something of my feelings or my thoughts. Like, no, this is fact. This is what's going to happen. And when you go down here, I'm like, boom. And it did happen. And she was like I try to tell you, like it wasn't going to get you what you want. But secondly, you didn't have the mental capacity to handle it because she was a person who had a 9 to 5 job, which is a very good job. And she just likes to travel. I said, those two things with bodybuilding don't match up. I said, you can't travel. You got your meal preps, your stuff to go to, and all the coaches that I sent her to. Bodybuilders are crazy because as you got to understand, like they'll sacrifice everything to look a certain way. And they don't only, because she had great potentials, like not only did they see you for this first show, but they want you to go pro. And it's hard for them to coach you because you're just like, well, I just want to do one show. That's it. And they're like, no, you have the potential to go pro. So they want you to throw all this away. And I'm sitting here like, just do the show. Like just don't think too deep into it. But again, I'd get texts every couple of weeks like I'm crashing out. I just ate like 4 muffins. I'm like, here we go. But like I have to understand that where I know who has the mental capacity to handle bodybuilding and I know who doesn't. They just don't like to hear it from me. Where I've been proven wrong like 2, 3 times. And I'm so proud of that. I'm like, you ain't got it in you. But then people prove me wrong and I'm like, great, you did it. Like I'll be like, yep, I'll eat my words. I did say you didn't have it and you proved me wrong. But because the people that I've trained, and again, it takes maybe a year or two for them to finally get into it. But I'm like, at that time, where that point of where you were at, there was no way you did it. But again, over the years as they kept going, they finally got into it. I'm like, I'd rather be proven wrong all day, every week, because I don't really give people the benefit of the doubt most of the time. I'm like, yeah, you got it. No, you don't got it. Like when I ran into Trev, I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna go pro. Not worried about it. When I ran into Dan, don't worry about it. It's gonna happen. It's just there's people where I'm like, nah, you don't got it in you. Mentally, you don't got it into your character doesn't tell me. It's not even about like the things you show me, like who you are as a person. You show me you ain't got it. So it's just like me being able to navigate like I tell people I got the eye. I know who is going to blow up and I know who's not. Now again, I could be wrong, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not.
Heck, I've coached people for a living for over 5 years, and it's largely about how to make them better at sales and grow their career
Mm,
in corporate, right? And I have my own answer, maybe under the hood as to why that's enough for me and why that's meaningful enough to me.
okay.
When you think about you help people with bodybuilding or you help people lose 20 pounds, right? Why is that enough for you? Why is that meaningful enough for you when you think about the grand scheme of like how you have helped people? What's the deeper meaning there? What do people not maybe understand, or what do you want to tell people is like there's more to it than just the looking better in the mirror. There's more to it than just maybe feeling a little lighter on your feet. I'm curious, when you go to bed at night, when you think about and you reflect, hey, this is how I primarily have helped people. Why is that enough for you?
Because people don't understand it has nothing to do with the physical at all, right? It's people don't need information. Like, we're in 2025. Everybody knows how to do something, right? And with AI, we don't have to change much information. But the hardest thing is to change people. Like, that's why I always tell people, like, well, if you've gotten somewhere, if you're coming to me, that means you haven't gotten somewhere because you didn't become the person you needed to become. That's really that simple. So when people come to me, they have to become a new person that they've never been to get a result that they've never had. So that's why it's so important to me, because I just have to market the transformation. People don't know how we get there from A to B. Like, they don't understand the process of that, where it's like, again, I've had a lady cry this last week. What do we talk about? Like, her relationship with food. And she was like, I picked you because I feel like you were emotionally intelligent to have these conversations with me. It was like, listen, I don't want to be a slave to food. How she looks at discipline as punishment instead of discipline as like, hey, this is what's going to help us towards our goals. But because of all the work that I've done, I'm able to help that person shift that mindset to then go ahead, get a result that they have never gotten in their life. So that's the thing, where I am shifting people from who they were to who they need to be. Because again, what I've learned is, like, we make premises and judgments off people or things that we've done and that haven't worked. So I'm like, why are we holding on to a version of ourselves that haven't gotten a goal when it requires a new version of ourselves to hit a new goal? Because I'm sitting there like, I'm not giving nobody, even when Kyle lost 75 pounds, I think, Kyle, I'm not giving you no new information that you had. What is the difference that makes you get results with me with somebody else? One is just because of who I am as a person and being able to have certain conversations with people. Another client was like, "Yeah, I see you talk to your clients all the time." I said, "Exactly, but you don't know, no, you don't know why that holds so much weight, rather than me putting them through a hard ass workout. Because the workouts don't change, the lifts don't change, but if I can change within that hour, people see me 2% during their whole week, right? Out of 168 hours in a week, they see me for 2. I have to really mentally get in their head to keep them consistent for the rest of those 166 hours. You got to eat right. You have to go to sleep. You have to meal prep. You got to do all the stuff. And so it's like, why do they finally listen when they're with you rather than with somebody else? Half the time I don't know. It's like they're not getting new information, but it could just because of who I am gives them more accountability to that, or it's just how I tell them, like, look, you got to change who you are. It's not about the food. Change how you look at the food. Change what you feel about this whole journey. Or again, prove me wrong or waste your money. Like, there's always something that I don't know. Honestly, if I had a pill, I'd be a trillionaire just to give it to people so they can change. But it's because I know I can change people. And then the byproduct is just them changing their body.
And how much of this all, man, like how much from what you've observed, how much of this game is just people having to maybe overcome the fear of changing who they are, right? Like and
Mm.
getting out of or stripping away things that
Mhm.
maybe are so familiar to them, whether it's the food or the bedtime, just things within their lifestyle that's so deeply entrenched. Like how much of this game is success or fail based on their ability to ultimately overcome the fear of changing their DNA in some ways.
I think it's 100%, because everybody's like, oh, I want to make it a lifestyle. I said, okay, cool. Well, let's figure out, how do we do that. If you want to be a person that goes to the gym, you first have to be a person that goes to the gym. Then you have to ask yourself, what do those people do? They get up in the morning, they meal prep, they do these things, and that's what they have. A lot of people skip trying to be this person. Like, no, you got to call yourself a fitness girly. But at the same time, you call yourself a fitness girly, you got to do what the fitness girlies do, and then you'll have what the fitness girlies have. But you can't do it without actually being it. So people they really skip the being a fitness girly. Like, no, figure out what does your wardrobe look like? What does your routine look like? And again, the crazy thing is, people hold on to a version of themselves that haven't gotten the goal. So I ask them, why are you holding on to that version that's never gotten you that body? Has that worked? No. Well, then just why are you holding on to it? And so then me just asking them questions about, like, well, why? Why do you do that? Why do you do it? It doesn't work.
What do
So
they say to that? What are the
they
responses to that?
they don't know, because nobody's ever asked them that question. Because it's like, well, why do you? Because people don't think about that. Like, when we're doing A to B, it's more about the process, right? Like step one, step two, step three. It's not thinking of like, well, no, you're the issue. The process is fine. The process works because it's worked for millions of other people. Why haven't you understood the process yet? Yeah, and that's the thing where people don't understand that they actually just have to change themselves, not the process. Because there's only so many ways you can make some things so efficiently. Like, but no, can you buy in? Like, it's just that's the thing of like, can I get you to even trust me to tell you, like, hey, like, and the other half is like, one, they don't know, and two, I'm like, you've made wrong decisions for your life in this area of your life for so long. Just don't make no more decisions. Let me make them for you. I don't even want you to think about what you got to eat. I've already written it down. Eat this. Don't think, because again, 9 times out of 10, I tell people, even with real estate, my realtor showed me the house. It was the first house I looked at. I said, "Is this okay?" She said, "Yes, I like it. I like the numbers. Great." I brought in Jamal. Jamal liked it. I brought in his contractors. Great. They liked it. I bought it. I don't have to think for myself. And that's why I think people don't understand. Like in areas of life where other people are smarter than you, just listen to them. Like I don't have to know it all. As long as I have people around me that I trust in certain areas of life, I will go off what they tell me. So I don't me trying to think for myself is only gonna mess it up. But if these people already went through the process, Jamal said he looked at 71 properties before he's buying his first one. Because I use his information, it's his expertise, I only had to look at one. I didn't have to go look at two. So it's like, why would I not listen to the expert and know what they're doing? A lot of people just don't want to listen. And so I'm like, the process is easy, it's simple. But it's just the hard thing of getting them to let go of that version of themselves that doesn't get them to where they want to be.
Yeah, I think it goes it aligns with your emphasis on investing in yourself and then that being the best investment. Think about something like I'm paying someone right now to help with personal branding
Hmm.
because I've tried to do it on my own and it drives me crazy. I'm like, I don't know who I help. Like I know, but I don't. Like it's frustrating. Like, you gotta like make it all succinct and stuff. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I've tried on my own. It's frustrating and I haven't got the results that I want. So I'm gonna go pay someone
Literally.
that does this for a living to help me. And to
Literally.
me, that just makes like logical sense. And obviously, look, we have different responsibilities, circumstances, but there's always something, whether maybe it's not paying, but it's looking at a free course on YouTube if you can't afford
Hmm.
to actually pay someone one on one. Like there's always an opportunity to, in a way, to get advice, mentorship, whatever coaching, whatever it might be from someone that's been there or that does it more than you do. And so I really am aligned with you on like, I mean, I've had to make a lot of sacrifices financially since I started my own business a year and a half ago. But one place I have not stopped investing in is in myself,
Hmm.
in my development. I've hired business coaches. I just hired someone to help me with my personal brand. Like every
Hmm.
dollar I make goes back into my business in this time.
Exactly.
I've been buying clothes on Amazon. I never did that, but that's what we're doing for the time being because, my North Star is obviously to something greater. Um, Heck, I got to wrap this up,
Matt,
man. I got to ask you, why do people, sorry,
whoa,
go ahead, MD.
wait, Matt, I had a question for you. And then
Yeah.
and then let's wrap up with Heck though, because what we just talked about was, I'll go back to the fitness girly, right? Like, it's they have a desire to like manifest this like new identity, this new version of themselves. What's holding them back is a fear and a holding on of who they've been. Matt, I- when I think about your journey, I don't know that you are having such a tight grip on who you've been. And so I'm curious, like, how your angle has to be a little bit different, right? Or like, how do you view it in terms of like, because you've always talked about accepting that fitness girly version of yourself, right? Metaphorically. And it's more about the fear of becoming the thing that you are or the thing that you envision for yourself. But has it been hard for you, or like what has that been like for you in terms of letting go of who you've been?
I think there's parts that are easier. There's parts that are more difficult in terms of who you've been. Like there's parts of who I've been that frankly like don't align with my values and never really did. I just didn't know what my values were. So those parts were a little bit easier to let go of. It's like, oh, that's not, that was never me. It's what I attached to and who I thought I was, but it was never me. And so those were pretty easy to let go of. Friendships, at different activities, things of that nature. Where it becomes more difficult is the the more deeper rooted, like those core beliefs about who you are and how you identify in the world. I think those can be a little bit more difficult to let go of because, our ego and like the concept of who we are really latches onto those things because, we're human beings. We don't like the unknown and the uncertainty required
Hmm.
with it. If I'm not this, then who am I? So I think it's been easy. It's been easy and challenging it just depends in terms of like what, like I've aligned my life with, I think for the most part, who I am, but I recognize that there's layers and there's always layers to it, and so um that's kind of how I think about that. But heck, man, I got to ask you, why do people think are you mean? Why do people think you're mean?
People think I'm mean because the delivery on which I give. And again, but they're not wrong. Like I just had, and this girl probably like 24, right? And I had told her like literally got her a job at Mode. She just walked in. She had asked me about my camera. We had like a whole 45-minute conversation. You know, Mo walks in and whatever. I'm like, and she just said, "Hey, I just turned in my resume." I'm like, "Oh, we just lost somebody in the front desk here." Boom. Here's the owner, da da da. Talk to him. Boom. We'll get you a job right now. Boom. Seemed like a cool person, right? And I have no problem with that. But then you know me, if I talk to you for a long time, I want to know what your goals are. I want to know what you do with your life. If most people are open to me, like, "Oh, what you want to do?" So a couple weeks go by, and then I asked her like, um, so what you been doing? What's your schedule like? And that's what I tell people all the time. Show me your schedule. Show me if did you actually write down every day on every hour what you're supposed to do? Well, no. I said, you're full of shit. But the crazy thing is, I don't know her for more than a few weeks. So the reason that, like, I'm saying the right things, she just didn't like the delivery because I haven't known her for a long period of time to talk to her like that. But I said the only reason why that hits so hard is because it's the truth. It's just you don't like how I delivered it to you. Now, could I be better? And so remember, I had to learn this thing. I think Ryan Leake, what talked about is like speaking truth with love. Like, can I say things better? 100%, because I speak truth without love. And then I think what he talked about is speaking love without truth is enabling people. So I'm still trying to work on that medium part of like, hey, I see you trying to do stuff, but in order to get better, this is what you need to do. And if you're not doing it, but my old self is just like, you're just not doing shit. Just like, because I can just speak the truth without love, and it's true. And it's like, but again, it's like I tell people all the time, if I'm giving you advice, it's because I know it helps and it will work for you, and I want to invest in you. I'm not telling you, even though the delivery might not be the best, I'm telling you this information because I want to help you. I'm not telling you this to belittle you or make you feel less than or things like that. Like, I'm literally telling you because it's what it is. And it's just they want to hear it a certain way, or they want to hear it with more love. And I'm sitting here like, look, people around me, we have a standard. Like, I tell people, like, when you're in competitions, it should be a surprise if we lose, not if we win. Like, that's just the standard of everybody that I'm around. Is just like, oh, you did this, cool. That's like, yes, we'll clap for it, but you're supposed to win. Like I told Trev, like we won our first show. It's great, cool. It's your first bodybuilding. He did another local show. I'm like, we don't celebrate this. You did this already. Like, yeah, you had more fun, but I don't care. I said, until you go pro, that's when we celebrate. Because the standard is just different, where it's just like we're just not happy just being in the room. No, I want to win. No, I want to beat everybody. Like, we should be surprised if we lose, not if we win. So it's like, if we lose, it's something that we did wrong, not because they beat us. Right. And so it's just figuring out, like, being around those type of people. A lot of people don't want to be around that because it's too much pressure. They can't handle that. And so that's the reason why they come with them slip away, and they don't like the way I talk to them. But I'm like, look, if I'm surrounded by winners and you want to be a winner, not saying that to change, I don't really have to change much about me than a little bit of my delivery, but what I'm telling you is right. The process I'm telling you is right. The way I talk to them is all those are winners too. And I never mean no disrespect, no harm to you, da da da. But like, hey, look, you around all losers. I don't really care what y'all really talk about over there. If you want to be on the winning team, it's not going to be always the nicest because some things have to give. And I don't have to, oh, it's going to be okay. No, let's work. Like, let's just go. And sometimes it's the empathy that they feel like I don't have, but I know it's there. And I know I can. And again, that's just me knowing, being aware enough that I have to say things better, even though I still speak the truth. I just have to speak it with a little bit more love. That's all.
Speaking, I mean, and that's like an incredibly difficult thing to do. Like, I don't know
It
anyone
is.
that's perfect at speaking truth with love. And on the flip
Exactly.
side, I think it's a lot better than at least the flip side, which I think you said is speaking love without truth, which is really just enabling, which to me
Hmm.
is far worse than at least giving people the truth.
Exactly.
MD, you got anything else you want to wrap up with? Hector Regalado, everybody. Hector, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining.
Man, I appreciate y'all for having me again.